So let's move on now to the third section, which is similar in a way. So it has, again, it has a heading and 2 paragraphs and a line as well, but it also has 4 images and a button. Okay, well, the black button, the black type of button that we would have had a class for. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding that content now. So I'm gonna come back to my notepad and I'm going to click on the HTML file. So now we're ready to start adding content here to section 3. So I'm going to start first by adding a div to the top. So if we look here, we can kind of split this into 3 sections. Okay, so we have a section at the top here with our text and our line. We have a section here with our images, and we have a section here with our button. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to split off the top to address that separately. So I'm going to put div id is equals to sec tree top, and that you can tell that just means I'm just dealing with the top section here. I'm going to close that just to make sure that I don't miss that out. So close, and then I'm going to put my content on the inside. Alright, so what I'm also going to do here is that I'm going to assign classes to the text that I have in here. Well, what I mean is that if you look here, you can see that, again, similar to what we have here above, we have this space here being split into 2 columns. Okay, so what we can do is we can further divide this area into 2 columns, into 2 divs, and use a class to style both. Okay, just like we did above here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to call this div class sec3 text. Okay, because that's what the purpose of this is for. The purpose of these divs is to contain the text of section 3. Okay, good. So again, I'm going to close this div. I like to close my divs after I create the opening div, just to make sure that I don't forget to close the tag. And then here I'm going to put in our heading. So if we look here, we can see that we have a heading here. So I'm going to put in the heading. So it's H1, and that has the black style. So I'm going to put class is equals to heading black, and then I'm just going to copy the text and put it in. So top destinations, good, top destinations, and then I'm going to close the div. So slash h1. We have the line class below that, so I'm going to put div class equals to line. Good. We have to close this. I don't want to make the same mistake as before where I didn't close this. So slash div. Good. And then finally we have a paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to put p class is equals to, and in this case this is the bold text, as you can see is bold. So text bold. Good. And I'm just going to copy the text again and paste it. And I have to do the same procedure with the line breaks that I did before. So I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to paste. And I have to put in my line breaks. So the first line break is after none. Okay, so I have to put 1 here, slash br. Good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab this content around so that it comes back to where I'm working here. So tab this around, good. I'm just going to make sure that I have the line breaks in the right area. So the next one is after Descendant here. So I'm going to put /br after Descendant. And that should do it for this particular paragraph. Good. And then I'm just going to close it off. So remember, /p to close our tags, our paragraph tag. Good, so that is my column to the left side here. Now I have to deal with the paragraph on the right side, okay? So again, I'm going to use a class. So I'm going to put div, well, the same class. So I'm going to put div class is equals to set_tree_text. Good. And again, I'm going to close it. So /div, and then put my content inside, okay? So this is one paragraph, but with several page breaks, okay? Well, line breaks, and we have some cases where we have to put in some additional line breaks. So I'll show you what I mean. So I have my div set up, so I just have to get the content. So I'm going to copy this content. Let me try that again. Good. So I'm going to copy this. Notepad again. And again, this is in a paragraph tag. So p class, and this class is text normal this time. So text normal. Good. And then I can paste my content. Okay, so that looks a bit intimidating, but we can get through this. So I can see here on the right side here where I have to put my breaks, and it seems to already have formatted them in that fashion, okay? But otherwise, you know what to do from up above, right? So we just have to put in our breaks. So I'm going to put /br here, okay? And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab this content around. Let me see if I can tab it all at once. So I'm going to select it, and I can, okay? So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to push it all around, okay? So now that my content is pushed around, I can start adding the rest of the page breaks. So /br here, good. So that comes after enum, good. And then let's see, we actually have to put in 2 page breaks after ut, because as you can see here, you have a break between paragraphs here, okay? So we have a line between the paragraphs, so we have to put in 2 breaks here. So I'm going to put /br and then /br again. Good. So we have to repeat the same process for this paragraph. So /br, and then we have another /br here. And then 2 /brs here, okay? So /br, /br, good. So we have 2, and then here we have 5 more breaks. So we have /br, 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 and that should be it. Good. Okay, so that is our top section with our text here. So now we can look at adding the images. So the images I'm going to put in a different div, okay? So I'm going to put this in a pictures div just to keep everything organized, make it a lot easier for me to style the different parts and organize them. So I'm going to put here div id is equals to sec_tree_pictures. Good. And then I have the 4 pictures. So I have img src is equals to and then I have to put in the folder. So the folder is images, and then slash, and then let's see here what we have. So we have, so these are the pictures. So you have one, no, not that one. We have jungle, we have photo, sand, and waterfall. Okay. So the first one is jungle. I'm going to put jungle dot png. Oh, hold on. I don't have jungle first. I have photo first. Okay. So I'm going to put that one first. It doesn't really matter, but just for consistency, I'll do that. So photo dot png. Good. So what I'm going to do is that just to save time, I'm just going to copy this one, and I'm going to just change the name, okay, as I need it. So I'm going to put that there, put this here, put this here. Good. And then I'm just going to switch out the names. So hold on, there's an issue here. Oh, I'm missing the double quotation here, so I'm going to put that in. Good. So I have waterfall, jungle, sand. Okay, so I'm going to put waterfall. Jungle, and finally sand. Okay, so photo, waterfall, jungle, sand. Those are the three, well, sorry, 4 pictures. So yes, jungle, photo, sand, and waterfall. Good. And all of them have the same PNG extension, so I'm good. So I missed the closing tag. I didn't put it in just now, so I'm putting it in now. Good. And finally, at the bottom, we have a button. Okay, so we have a button here. And I'm not going to put this in the div. I'm just going to put the button class, so button, and then I want the class to be dark button. Okay, and then the text on this button is view more. Okay, so I'm going to put, I'm not going to bother to copy this time, it's so short, view more. And finally, the closing tag for the button. I'm not going to put the button in a div, I'm just going to let it occupy the space here at the bottom. So I'm going to put it in now, so it's going to be button, so the button tag. And then the class is going to be dark button. And then we have some text on it, so the text is view more. So I'm just going to type that in quickly, so view more. And then we just have our closing tag, so slash button. Good. So that's the HTML there. So now let's save this and see what it looks like at this point. So I'm going to save. And I'm going to come back here. So remember that I'm building this website. So the website is here on this middle tab here. So it should occupy this space, the content I just created. So I'm going to refresh. Okay, so we can see that the images came in nice. The button also came in, so the button already has styling because I'm applying a class to it. So we just have to use our styling to kind of set it out how it is shown here. Okay, so let's go about doing that now. So I'm going to go to the style sheet, and we're going to start to style section 3. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and put hashtag sec3, and again I'm going to display grid, and this time I'm going to justify items to center. Okay, good. So that's the first thing. And if you remember, what we did here is that we separated, we have 2 internal divisions here. We have the top here, and then we have a div here for the pictures. And this top div is separated again into 2, okay? So 2 columns, so you have 1 column on the left and 1 column on the right. So we're going to look first at that top div. So we're going to put section tree top, which is the name that I assigned to it, and we're going to give it some padding of 100 pixels at the top, 0 on the right, 100 at the bottom, and 0 on the left. Okay, so if I look here at this completed section here, we can see that there's a spacing at the top and there is a spacing at the bottom. Okay, no, sorry, we're dealing with this this section here, so we're dealing with spacing here at the top and a spacing at the bottom. Okay, so that's when putting the 100 pixels of padding to create this space at the top and this space at the bottom. Okay, next I'm going to display grid again, and that is to get the two columns. Okay, to get these two columns, right? So I'm going to use display grid and grid template columns to get these two columns. Okay, so I'm going to put display grid and then grid dash template dash columns. Okay, hang on, I have an issue here. Good. So grid dash template dash columns, and then I want one FR, and then I'm going to justify the content to the center. Oops. Content to center. And I'm also going to align the content to the center. Okay. And that's just to make sure everything, because you can kind of see that everything's kind of like squashed together in this middle here with regards to this upper section here. So that's why I'm doing that. I'm just bringing everything towards the center using these two commands. Okay. So next what I'm going to do is that, in fact, let me just save it and let's see what changes we've made so far. So I've saved it. I'm coming back, refresh, and good. We're seeing some progress. Okay, so we have the two columns, and what we'll do is that we'll make some additional changes to put in the spacing. Okay, and then we'll move on to dealing with the pictures. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come back here, and to adjust the spacing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to again call the class, so sec_tree text, and remember that that's the class that I used for these two columns. Okay, sec_tree text, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to display grid I'm going to do grid dash template dash columns 1FR. Okay, so now that the top is done, what we can do now is we can move on to dealing with our pictures down here. Okay, so remember that we had them all in a div, so we're going to make some changes to that div. So I'm going to come here, and this time what we're doing is that we're dealing with sec_tree pictures. And once more, as you might guess, I'm going to display as grid. Laying out as a grid really does make things a lot easier. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish 4 columns. Okay, so grid dash template dash columns, and then I'm going to do 1FR, 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 1FR. Okay, so 4 columns, because as you can see here, we have the 4 pictures lined up as 4 columns here. Okay, so that's why we're doing that. Good. So set 3 pictures, and we'll do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some edits to the actual images themselves. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say sec_tree pictures img. So remember that what this is going to do is that this is going to look at the sec_tree pictures div, and it's going to do some changes to the images inside. Okay, so img is the tag for images. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to tell the images that their width should be 100% of the columns that we established here in Sec3 Pictures. Okay, good. So that is going to deal with our images. So let's save and let's see what happens now. Okay, so something hasn't been put in correctly here. Oh, okay, I see it. So I don't have my colon here. My bad. Okay, so let's try it again. Save, refresh. Good, good. So that's what we want. Okay, so we have 4 columns, and each column is holding an image. And because we told the images to take up 100% of the width, they're taking up 100% of that width. Okay, so good. So that's how we get our images sorted. And then finally, we have a distortion on the button. So if you look here, you can see that the button here is shorter than the button here. You know, it looks kind of comical here. It's not set up properly. So what we can do is that on top of the class, on top of the styling that the class is doing to the button, we can actually apply some additional styling. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to call sec3 button. Okay, so I'm going to look in the sec3 div and I'm going to find the buttons there, which is only one button, and I'm going to say that the height should be 60 pixels. Okay, so now if I save it and I refresh, you can see that the button has been brought back to a more normal height. Okay, like it's a better height. It's the actual height that we see here. I'm back on this platform here. Okay, although the bordering is a bit different, but as I said, we're not going for the exact same look. You know, we're just going for something similar, just so you can get the idea. Good. So good. So that's our button. So that finishes our third section here.